Hello, good morning. You are watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Asuri Balde. Hearing the voice of my director, Aliou Jallow, makes me very happy. For the past days he was in here. He was doing his leave in Kirmama village and the North Bank of the Gambia.
He was doing lecture kosam.
Exactly. And, he is a village young man. He liked going to the village to enjoy his leave and relax, interact with the people there. So my director is back. Aliou Jallow, you are welcome, brother. Yes, so Julia, what's up? What's going on? Demo misa boy muna moko wagwan si program.
Bul fate kiki fate ko payi banjul.
Nanditela.
Nanditela Mr. Mboje nga yep ko said.
Nanditela.
I'm good, Balde. It's good to be back on this morning show after a very long time or a very long break. I think I'll be coming here more often.
You have to be coming here.
Yeah,
because Adi have been pretending to be Julde on this platform
all this
for
time.
a very long time. Yeah, so Mr. Mboje, how are you doing?
Alhamdulillah.
Fofu rek nga em.
Absolutely.
Tey moom tey seen bi la ñu andel.
Monosyllabic today. Monosyllabic.
Exactly. On the program, we'll take a look at the code. Then from the code, we'll be talking to the Pharmacy Association or the Pharmacy Council of the Gambia. And it's 25th of this month will be World Pharmacist Day. Of course, they are getting ready to commemorate this day. And they will be here to help us understand what does this means and what role does the pharmacy play when it comes to people's health, public health in this country. And of course, Buba Seydikant of QCell will be here also to talk about the new QCell phone promotion. Yes, Julde, let's take a look at the code.
So, Balde, our code this morning reads, a wise person will always find a way to do what is right. A wise person will always find a way to do what is right. Mr. Mboje, what do you make of this proverb?
Yes, a very interesting one. Well, it reminds me of sort of other sayings like, where there's a will, there's a way. So here it appears, this proverb anyway appears to be telling us that, well, where there is wisdom, there's a way.
Absolutely.
To do the right thing. Wow. So, yes.
It's an interesting one.
It's an interesting one because the idea of being wise and doing the right thing. Of course, the old philosophers, that's what they said, that they say that somebody's doing the wrong thing because they're ignorant. They do not know much. Then I met another philosopher who tells me about the high IQ moral moron. I can be smart in all sorts of things, but morally, because the rightness here has to do with morality, I think, isn't it? But being wise, that has, I don't know, does it have more to do with one's cognitive ability? Or am I confusing being wise and having knowledge? So with me, it threw up all sorts of sort of philosophical questions, I have to say, philosophical issues. Even though on the surface, you get it, you know, when you're smart and you're bent on behaving in a certain way, you know, you have that sense of direction, and then you can find a way to do the right thing. You find yourself in a difficulty, you're reasonably smart, you will find a way of doing the right thing superficially. That is true. I don't think it's banal. Nobody can argue against that.
A wise person will always find a way to do what is right to do. Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, we all understand to do the right thing. It's the only way. You understand? And when you have the conscience, the mind to do the right thing, then you are the wisest person on earth. I mean, once you do the right thing, then you will be at ease.
But this is it, Balde. For me, this is the difficulty. Is it always obvious what the right thing is? You see, we assume that in any given situation you have this sort of right way,
the wrong
everybody
way.
can recognize it and stuff like that. I am not so sure, given the complexity, especially in the moral world, given the complexity of our
what
lives.
is morally right
Younger,
to you might not be.
Well, I'm not a relativist. That kind of relativism, not so much. It's just that it is not always obvious in a situation what the right thing is. Maybe I'm not wise enough, I accept. But to me, it's not always obvious what the right thing is. So we all want to do it, but how do you recognize it? Is it always recognizable? Is it simple right there? I'm not so sure.
It's not simple to do the right thing.
I'm not so sure.
From what you were saying, Mr. Mboj, what might be right, to you might not be right, to Balde. Balde might not see that as the right thing or that sense of direction that should be followed.
Absolutely, that's true, but that is what they call philosophical relativism. What is right for you, not right for me, or Julia's got her own. But I think that there are certain situations where you have universal principles or values will apply. I believe that there is an objective world out there that I need to discover. So truth doesn't depend on my own subjectivity. You say what is right for you is not right for me. That's what they call subjectivity. What I perceive, what I see. I think it is a reality out there that goes beyond me. So sometimes it's not simply about what I think, but I need to explore other areas to get the right thing, as it were. So I'm not a relativist, A for you, B for me, C for that one. Even though when it comes maybe to matters of taste. Yes, I can accept it there. But when we're talking about facts, I don't have a right to my own facts. Nobody's got a right to your own facts. So there are certain things that we share. It's an objective world out there. But there are certain things, it's a matter of opinion. Yes, with opinion, taste, inclinations, yes, I can go for subjectivity. But when it comes to facts, knowledge, nope, I do not have a right to my own. So there is something out there to discover. That is why I said that it is not always easy to know what the right thing is. That is why sometimes we're confused, then we get a confidant, or we talk to a friend, about things, or you talk to your parents, or you talk to whoever, because you are not really sure.
What the right thing is.
It is not always self-evident what the right thing is. Well, don't turn this into a philosophical seminar,
especially when you're talking to a philosopher.
Or tutorial or something.
It depends, it depends. For me, my own interpretation of the proverb, I know sometimes circumstances that surrounds you depends on, how you behave, how you act, and how you react, and all of those things. But no matter the circumstances surrounding you, I think as individuals, especially as people who are wise, we should always endeavor to do the right thing. We know sometimes we could see, even though, like you mentioned, sometimes it's hard to figure out the right thing. Honestly, especially if you're faced with certain issues or circumstances, it's really, really difficult to know what the right thing is. But eventually, your conscience should be able to tell you, this is the right thing to do. And I always like quoting the late Vice President, Dr. Aliou Badara Diouf.
Badara Aliou Diouf?
Badara Aliou Diouf.
Thank you.
He will always say that it is right to do what is right to get it right. And we have to do what is right in order to get it right. So as a society, we need to do that. In as much as, okay, Mr. Mboje is taking public funds, or it is readily available, or corruption, it's in society and all of that, doesn't mean that because every other person is corrupt or involved in corrupt activities or dubious activity shouldn't make you as an individual also to involve in it. You should always try as much as possible to stay off those things and be professional, have your integrity, be someone who is credible at all times, no matter how society is. Sometimes this is the famous saying, when you're in a situation whereas everybody, it's when in Rome do as Romans do, but doesn't necessarily apply to this place. If you're in a place who are highly corrupt, who are into dubious activities, you should always try as much as possible to refrain from it, even though sometimes it can be tempting and it can be difficult to do.
Absolutely. But you did something very interesting there. When you were talking about doing the right thing, you said appealing to your conscience.
Yes.
It's almost like you've substituted conscience for wisdom. But are they really the same? You see, stuff like that. Yes, and with that idea of when you go to Rome, do as the Romans do, I get it. But I say sometimes, now imagine I go to Rome, they're all walking on one foot. But my mind tells me that it's easier to walk on both feet.
Yeah.
I'll probably walk on my feet, even though they will kill you.
That's what I'm saying.
Societies are like that. That's it. So this is it. Try to be as individual as possible, though you understand your connection to the wider social. You can't help it, man is a social animal. But still try to apply your mind to situations, and then you try to do the right thing, even though that might cost you. Can you imagine, for instance, the Rwanda genocide? You know what I mean? The moderate Hutus who were being conscientious. I cannot do this. These are my neighbors, but others will come and kill you. So sometimes being yourself and wanting to do the right thing might cost you your life.
Yeah.
So this is really the price for morality in certain extreme circumstances. Yeah. So that is why not many people can really do that. That level of greatness, that's what I call it. That level of greatness is really very rare. Even in the face of death, I want to do the right thing. Oh, that's difficult.
Well,
it is. We've seen individuals, especially in the political landscape, people who, will claim to be of high moral and then criticizing or critiquing certain things that are happening in government. But eventually we see them joining those
and be muffled.
People. Exactly.
And they muffled them with certain things.
It's not easy.
That's it. And people, we have all kinds of illusions. When I'm not in a position, then you ask me, if you were in the position, what would you do? Oh, it's easy. Or I can just give you a whole catalog of things. I will do the right thing, I'll do this, I'll do that. But that is naive, because once I put you in a position, I have changed your circumstances, I have changed your world. So new imperatives would take over. So this is why these things are dangerous. I remember when I was at the Daily Observer during Yahya Jammeh's time, my prayer, I used to pray every day that, I hope that when I find myself in a situation where I have to behave honorably, I hope that I have the courage to behave honorably. All I could do is just hope. When you are not in the situation, you really do not know. You think that you do, then you go around blathering all sorts of things, but you really do not know. You have to be in the situation. That's when you really know who you are. Situations reveal us.
Absolutely.
When everything is nice, we can say whatever we want. Would be, in a difficult situation. That's where character emerges out of circumstances.
Exactly. It's like sort of a football game. When you are out of the pitch, that's where you start directing the players on what to do. At some point you tell the player, you would have just scored that goal. It's a simple goal.
When you're watching football with certain lads, oh my God, everybody is a coach.
Yes. It's very simple.
So easy to them. Oh, this one's so stupid. Oh, our coach is this. I just sit there and laugh at these young people. I said, youth. The confidence of
that's
youth.
That's the behavior.
So that's why wise people will not say never say never.
Absolutely.
Because anything can happen.
Yes. Never say never, really. That is very true. That's it. Even, and talking about wise, earlier on I talked about being wise and having knowledge, isn't it? Having knowledge, I don't know, I'll give it to scientists, sort of, isn't it? Physics, chemistry, you have knowledge about how the world works, the world of matter. But being wise, some people say, there's something else involved. It is about
experience,
kind of, but a
Okay.
kind of upliftment. You know what I mean? The kind of wisdom or insight that uplifts the human spirit.
At this point, Mr. Boyd, this is where we are, you know, stopping for the African code. Now we move to the newspaper review. Just after the commercial break, we continue. We'll be back.
Looking for internet for your free videos, pictures, chats, work, and school projects? Think free night browsing. QCell's free night browsing lets you browse the internet for free. Oh yeah. Get a data SIM, recharge a minimum of $500 and enjoy free browsing after 24 hours from midnight to 6 a.m. every night for 30 days. QCell, Sunubus. We innovate, others follow. It's happy time. Get 50% off all calls to any network. Enjoy calls every day to any network from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Is it too good to be true? QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Yeah, we are back. You are watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Suri Balde. Now let's move to some of the stories making headlines. I can see Jules there. Is already set to take us through some of the stories making headlines. Yes, Jules.
Yeah. So we have the Point newspaper, we have Foroya, and some of the newspapers on the Foroya newspaper is dozens of lifeless bodies washed off the coast of Dakar. Wow.
That's it. I
Devastating.
saw that yesterday in the news. 30 bodies, about 70 kilometers off the coast of Dakar. Extraordinary, decomposing. The bodies had already begun to decompose. Extraordinary. And then I thought, I was with you, Balde, I think. Remember the day when we spoke to that activist working with returnees, you know, irregular migration, dealing, working within irregular migration, when they said that there was a vessel that had gone missing.
Exactly.
So I was wondering, is that it? Or this is another one? Oh, absolutely. It was just horrid. Horrid story, really.
It is, honestly. I mean, last week, during at the youth dialogue, I had a Bagwe returnee, and he was narrating some of the hurdles and things that they were going through there. I mean, he told me, I nearly cried in that show, because he told me that at Libya, they were locked up, and then from there, they were sold of like commodities. And for me, I can't really figure that out, what people go through. And he was like, the real back way is in the desert, not necessarily on the river or somewhere else. The real back way is the desert. He said many people die there, but they are not even reported. So most of the cases that are reported are those who died on the coast and all of that. But most people actually die on these deserts. And what happened is sometimes some of them starve to death. Some of them, when they are so tired, they are just thrown off like that, and then they are left there to fend for themselves. I mean, it's really devastating that all these stories, all these tales and horrors that people are going through, still now young people are embarking on such journeys. It's crazy. I mean, it's tempting for him. It's like the stories of many people. He embarked on this journey because he finished high school. He could not have any funds to embark on this journey, and he has nowhere to go, no one to support him start up a business or start a skills activities also. So for him, that was it for him. And society also, in the other hand, were discouraging him, were bullying him, were saying a lot of things to him. So he had to embark on this journey at some point. But yeah, I mean, people are going through a lot.
Exactly. That's why I heard that now they've sort of found a new route.
Yeah.
that would go straight to the Canary
yeah,
Islands
yeah.
instead of going through Libya and the desert and
Yeah.
all of that. But this is really a tragedy of our time.
It is, it is.
When you take our societies, well, perhaps I can understand where there's conflict, people are running away from war, try to find another way to live. People take all kinds of perilous routes, sort of, to go to safety. But for us in our kind of societies, how come we've reached this point where people will take this precarious route, really, and to leave? It's a really extraordinary situation that we find ourselves in.
Yeah.
We have to ask, really, what does that tell you about our society? What is going on here? Is it time for what they call soul searching? Are we really having the kind of soul searching that, look at us here, we don't have a war, but why is it that our kids, a good number of them, we have to be honest, a good number of them are trying to go through this almost certain death, really.
5% of survival.
Absolutely. Can you imagine? We are in an extraordinary situation, and you don't get the sense now we're doing sort of that deep soul searching to address what is making these people leave, this, what they call the crisis of habitation. You've been having this crisis of habitation for a very long time.
Well, you know, it's a very complicated one. It's like the topic or the proverb we started this program with, that is, I mean, you know, being a wise person.
And
you
the
understand?
right thing.
So it depends. Each individual, you have your different thing that is motivating you to move on. Some people want to go and live the dream life. Some people want to go and change family situation. Some people left because their friends left. You understand? Some people left because things are not working for them. The high cost of living in this country. So it depends. It depends.
But this is really what we were talking about. Now imagine this young man, Mudunjai. Sort of all the friends have gone, sent over money, built for the parents' houses.
Your dad is driving a big
stuff
car.
like that. So Mudunjai, looking at these things, would think that perhaps the right thing to do for himself as well is to go through that. This is what I mean by the complexity of social relationships. Sometimes you not really know what the right thing is. So you find that you're all over. And the numbers are increasing. That is really the sad thing about it. The campaign, the advocacy, everywhere, we're all talking about it. Young men or women, you get women even taking their kids with them. You get all scenarios. Everybody is talking. You shouldn't do this. Your chances of survival are minimal, you know, almost as good as nothing. That sort of thing. You said 5%. Yet, the numbers are rising. So our strategies are not working. That much we have to accept. Whatever we are saying, it appears as if they're not working.
They are not listening.
Because the numbers are rising.
Well, when you look at the routes that people take, I mean, to embark on this journey, I mean, once a particular route is closed, a new one is open. It used to be the desert, then Libya. At some point you have Tunisia, Morocco. Now you have a direct route that will take you 6 days to get to, is it Spain or Italy? So every day, you know, these smugglers and all these people are a step ahead, you know, of authorities.
Absolutely. You even have people now who would go to planes, who would use planes, aeroplanes, and hide in the wheels, the wheel cabin, wheel hat, whatever they call it. Absolutely. Do you know how many people, especially in England near Heathrow, how many people have dropped from planes? There's so many stories, the man who dropped from the sky, stuff like that. So people are using all sorts of bizarre ways of to leave, simply to leave. So this is a massive problem for our time.
Don't you think the European Union, or maybe you know, the authorities responsible also should reduce the stiff measures they put on acquiring documents to travel to Europe or America. I mean, they come to Africa easily. We've never had a European smuggling or using the back way to come to Africa because it's easy to access here. What about maybe lessening the measures to access Europe? That would help.
Particularly, yes, there's no denying that. But now with the rise of what they call the right, immigration right now, it's really the only dynamic, I think, in in European politics and in the US, perhaps even in the West. So I cannot see that happening. These people were voted into power, people in powerful positions, presidents and prime ministers, people in decision-making positions, voted into power by a people, by an electorate who really don't want immigrants to come anymore. So you can never see that route happening. It's never going to happen. Recently we had the Prime Minister of Spain coming in here. They're finding all sorts of ways to stop it. So I cannot see a single country in Europe having relaxed, if you like, immigration rules for us to go.
Yeah.
Perhaps they wouldn't mind all the white people going there. Maybe they wouldn't mind Australians or whatever. But from black Africa going there, that's really the difficult truth, no matter what they say. That's really what it is. I cannot imagine them allowing people from sub-Saharan Africa, us, sort of easy access. I cannot see it. Not in my lifetime, certainly.
Yes, so it's a complicated one. I mean, I know it will be very difficult to eradicate, I mean, that problem totally.
We have to sort it out ourselves.
We have to sort it out. I mean, we have to go back to the drawing board, Mr. Mboj. But we've been going to the drawing board without any solution at some point.
And what does Mr. Mboj call it? Is it neo-independence?
Yes. That's what I call it the other day. That's what we need. A new kind of independence. Neo-independence. What does it mean going back to the drawing board? What does it mean? You can never really do that. It's a matter of, I appeal to younger people. My whole idea of neo-independence is about younger people. What do they see as the political purpose? What is the political purpose of this generation? We can talk about the political purpose of people who grew up around independence. They were all euphoric about getting independence, and then we can do for ourselves, we will develop, and all the rest of it. There were certain things like that. But now, when I talk to younger people, there's really no politics. They will talk about, oh, good governance, stop the corruption, and all the rest of it. But really, there's no program, there's no commitment, there's no engagement.
Well, I forgot a point. I mean, to mention that, to be precise on the program, most of the time society also plays a very a big role to why these young people are leaving. Mr. Mboj, most people that embarked on the journey to Bagwe and they get to Europe, you know, maybe settled at some time, you know, they are more even respected than those living behind. Even if you are a big brother in a compound, you got a very good job, a very responsible person, you can see how the society value the one out there than you, the one doing almost everything in the compound. So society also plays a big role as to why these young people are leaving. They respect that name the person is from.
Absolutely. You hear that kind of talk all the time. He'll tell you that I'm older than that one is, but because he's over there, sending over money. But isn't this, in the end, really a calculus of survival? You know what I mean? Society, this is what society really does. It's thinking about its survival, whatever brings in the bacon, whatever brings in food. That's what you will respect. So, yes, I can see how it can distort sort of the moral lens when one can see that, but yet they will depend on certain things to survive. So overall, what it's saying is that my my socio-economic condition is such that I have been distorted. My values have been distorted in this way for me to survive. It's just the larger picture, really, that wouldn't allow me a kind of normal feelings, if I can put it that way. Now, I do hear that you have families coming together, selling their stuff to give their young one money to go the back way. Can you imagine something like that?
A bit of experience, I mean, when QTV started operation, you know, after 1-2 months, I covered, you know, the arrival of some returnees from Germany. They were deported, and their parents went to the airport at least to pick their kids. You know, I saw a father crying, and I asked him, "Why are you crying?" He said, "This son, I've spent almost all my life earnings to take him through this bad way. And he got to Germany, now look at him, he's back. I've lost everything." He started crying.
Can you imagine? And those people, not that they don't love their kids, but yet they'll sell the family China so that the kids will take this perilous journey, this journey where guarantees, that's almost like a certain death. They're going to face a certain death. As you said, maybe only 5%, perhaps less than that, survive. So what kind of place, what kind of society would sort of generate this kind of psychology in the parents that they do such dangerous thing?
Well, you know, I believe there's a way, I mean, there's a notion that people should have, or there's a way of perception that should motivate you sometimes to remain in your country and push very hard and work. Fine. When it comes to Europe, when it comes to America, you know, they are more advantageous when it comes to certain things. But you can see there are certain things too. Africa is far better, you know. Let's even when you talk about the weather, when you talk about maybe the working conditions sometimes, you understand. When you talk about certain things, it's not that Africa is disadvantaged altogether. There are things that, you know, okay, fine, maybe I cannot find that in Europe. Maybe, okay, fine, I'm not paying heavy bills as well, you understand. If you calculate things that way, I think you might be able to motivate yourself sometimes.
Suns and sea, sand, because they don't have it over there. They put a high premium on it. I'm born here. The sun, I take it for granted. The sea, I take it for granted. All of these things, fine, nice, wonderful, I take it for granted. They mean nothing to me. I was born in it. Maybe when I leave, 30 years later, oh, the nostalgia will come in and I start missing it. Oh, the sun. The sun. See, human beings are like that. But let us be careful. There are many people in sort of poor, you know, in low-income families. They do not go back way. They try to do it here. They try to do it here. So it's a mixed picture. It's just that we have a significant number going using the back way and dying along the way. They call it the Mediterranean graveyard. We've lost a lot of them in the Mediterranean graveyard. But again, you have many others who are here trying to make it happen.
Mr. Boy,
Right,
let's be honest to each other, okay? You are my uncle, you know. Can we make it here?
Oh, of course, big time.
You were in UK for many years. I can even say a UK citizen, for that matter. At some point,
I'm from Banjul.
From Banjul. Banjulian.
I'm a Banjulian.
Banjulian.
Don't start doing that.
Banjulian. Ñoom soo leen buggee génnee Banjul rek am nga problem. Okay, so okay, fine.
Can you imagine the sort of pride still, you know, having of pride of place?
Exactly,
That's
exactly.
really how do we reclaim that?
Wow.
That pride. I'm Gambian. I'm from here, and whatever happens, I don't know, maybe these things are difficult because somebody else will tell you that, oh yes, I'm also proud of my place, I'm also proud of the Gambia, but when I go out, I'll send in more money.
But probably,
how do you argue against that kind of logic?
And you know, remittances have been playing
that kind of logic
yes,
is just,
exactly.
it's just
Probably
a difficult one.
the reason why people are leaving, Julde, I might not be a janitor in the Gambia, but I can do that job in Europe. Maybe I might not be a cleaner here, you understand, but I can do that in Europe. Maybe I will not be able to carry things and start selling in the streets of Serekunda, but I can do that maybe, you know, in London. I can do that in Birmingham. I can do that anywhere, you understand. So there are also things, you know, when you ask maybe some of my Fulani people, they'll tell you I cannot do certain things in Guinea-Conakry, but I can do them in the Gambia. But migration, nobody can stop migration. People are going to migrate. It depends how are you migrating.
That is very true. And in the society you go to, you find exactly the same phenomenon that the citizens, there are certain jobs that the natives wouldn't do. Then you're going to have immigrants, people who come in will go and do stuff like that. It's just the way things are.
Fatale kunga Jallo Bitik, I Jallo Bitik, you know, I Musa Bofo. You know,
I'm not sure. No,
understand.
I understand the idea.
Wow, they are attributed to Fulani people. You know, they have business. You know, understand? And at the end of the time, it yield, you know, a dividend.
Why? Let's be careful. Some crisis of habitation we don't talk about. Being the latest phenomenon. I'm on the time. The brain drain.
Yes.
You know, it had nothing to do with dire economic circumstances. They were better off given relative to everybody else. Yet they wanted to leave. Yes, Philippines, so they may, as a doctor or whatever, you're skilled. You'll have more money, obviously. So you've got everywhere you turn down, it's this money factor, the trump. Dominate all other values, even though it's just one value amongst many other values. But we are so materialistic, yet we claim to be spiritual. It's a very funny.
Well, there is a very interesting message from Don Williams.
Yes.
He said, "Good morning. Your program is always captivating." To contribute to what Mr. Mboy said about young people during independence. Young people at that time understand what politics is all about. Nowadays, young people concentrate only making money instead of the country first. But don't money is part of the thing.
But this is what we're saying. This is what I just said. Obviously, money is a massive, massive chunk of all these considerations because it is an enabler. You see, money is an instrumental good. I use it to get certain ends.
I mean, money makes the world go round.
That's what they say. But this is we have to get these two terms right. What they call the instrumental goods, something that will enable you to get something else. Imagine I am stranded in an island. I'm the only person there. Give me all the billions in the world. It cannot help me. Knowledge of what plants to eat. That will help me more than anything else. So you have instrumental goods, like money, and intrinsic goods. Integrity. It is its own reward. I'm not using it to get something else. Honesty. So all of these values together make it a man. Have all the billions in the world, and you don't have any of these values, society will not need you.
Not our society.
You might be destructive even to society.
Mr. Mboy, I tend to disagree. Maybe the previous society.
Still,
but not
human beings, we are like this.
I'm trying to tell you and show you how society thinks nowadays.
Ooh, you are an expert on how society thinks nowadays.
Not actually, but from what I've seen.
He is part of this generation.
What I've seen, we've seen people trying to bend the rules for wealthy people. We've seen that in our society.
So tell me that from your angle.
From my angle.
This is what I have seen.
Yes.
But in any society, there are many different angles. Just like Chinua Achebe once said, the world is like a mask. And it's like a mask dancing. So there are so many different angles. Yes, you have that angle, but as a society, if I do not have any other value apart from money, money as the only value, we are all doomed. We are going to use that money to destroy ourselves. Make no mistake about it. It's just, it takes much more than money. Money
and
is
to
an
some
enabler.
extent, I think that is what we are saying.
Exactly. Money is an enabler so that you can achieve greater goods. It's merely an instrument. It's like a car. I use it to move from A to B.
And that's it.
Really
That's
what
the
money
purpose.
is for.
Yeah.
That's it. It doesn't tell me your moral worth.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell me anything about that when it comes to these higher feelings, you know, this higher thinking of the human being. So let us be careful what we're talking about and give it its just emphasis.
All right, so let's move to this last story. GAF to handle communications in Sierra Leone peacekeeping mission, the Gambia Armed Forces.
Yeah, they're set to deploy peacekeepers.
Myself and Ade.
Yeah.
So you,
I remember I asked him, I said, Sierra Leone, I mean, did you ask for this? He said, no.
and
This is all ECOWAS.
I don't know, for some reason, Mr. Ade is not okay with this. Mr. Ade is not okay with this one. I mean, well, let's see what's going to
And
happen.
other people are saying, now, this is interesting. We've got economic in here. We're doing our security sector reform and all the rest of it. Now we are sending troops elsewhere to go and help in whatever capacity that they're going to do. Yes, they've asked for it and we can deliver. So why not? Even somebody suggested to me, the soldiers will be very happy because the per diems, maybe they'll be paid in dollars. Here we go, money again. Oh, this is how the world works now. So this is it.
Well, it's a crazy situation.
We'll send
Well,
them
it
then.
is what it is.
You don't mind it. You just want that to go with other things. Otherwise, it's too lean. It's just too skeletal. It's just too skeletal. You want to flesh it out with other human, decent, high values, the cardinal virtues, you know, wisdom, courage, generosity, justice. There are other values, really. If it is just money, then it's only half a life.
I don't know when they're leaving,
full.
but
It's
I would
not a full
definitely
life.
like to go with them. I don't know when are they leaving, but I'd like to go with them.
No, you wouldn't, Bala.
Why?
You will run back.
Why?
These are soldiers going to do soldierly things. You've never been trained. You don't know it.
No,
so
no,
you
no.
wouldn't be happy
No,
with
I'm
that. When you get there,
I'm gonna take my camera and my pen.
within 5 minutes,
My camera and my pen.
within 5 minutes, you
Yeah.
will desert. You'll be a deserter. you will be lost in the streets of Freetown.
Then I will go to Forabe College to go and seek refuge.
No, but this is really serious. As I understand it, Sierra Leone really never asked for it. So, ECOWAS, what is ECOWAS's role right now? Some might say that perhaps the recent decisions have sort of contributed to the breakaway of the alliance of Sahel states. They threatened to use force. Certainly force was one of the options on the table in Niger.
And
They
withdrew.
didn't.
They didn't.
They didn't. So perhaps ECOWAS is trying to find a role here for itself, to define a role for our age. But it's going to be quite complex because they're facing challenges right now and they better get it right. Otherwise, maybe others might follow and leave. So with this Sierra Leone issue, it's very interesting. As I understand it, Mada Bio said, we've really got no problem. What is going on? Yes, there was apparently an attempted coup, but they dealt with it. So this is quite interesting. Maybe.
Well, I was even thinking maybe there is a war or something in Sierra Leone, or there's a rebellion movement or something.
There's none. They dealt with that.
Yes.
There was an apparent attempted coup. But come on,
attempted coup.
Is that
sorted
unique?
out, yeah.
You know what I mean? Is that unique to Sierra Leone? I mean, as far as we are aware, people were apprehended, weren't they? So they're dealing with it in a sort of law and order manner way. So, but ECOWAS sort of seem to think that Sierra Leone needs more. As far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, as far as I'm aware, Sierra Leone never asked for it. So, if they do not ask for it, I wonder why ECOWAS thinks that. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, maybe they had asked for it. I just don't know. But as far as I'm aware, Sierra Leone really never asked for it.
Like you said, they need to get their priorities right.
That's it. Define your role, you know, for 2024.
But maybe they have their purpose. Maybe they have their reason for doing it. I mean, we cannot know until when we get to know what exactly made them do that. It's
the situation in the Gambia too. I mean, despite calls for the economic troops to go out of this country, they're still here.
But at least with us, we had gone to ECOWAS twice and asked them to extend.
To extend.
See, there's a difference. We asked for it, really. That's why I said maybe I'm wrong. But as far as I'm aware, Sierra Leone never asked for this.
So is there a press release from Bio or something, from Mother Bio?
Well, online we were hearing all sorts of information coming from Sierra Leone, and Ade, our editor-in-chief, he follows politics events, what's going on in Sierra Leone very closely. And when we talked about it, he said, as far as he was aware as well, Sierra Leone really never made any request for
I think we need to close this segment. Yes. I'm getting messages from my Sierra Leonean friends telling me they didn't ask for it and they don't need it.
Really?
Yes. Yes. ECOWAS will come out to tell us why they came up with this decision.
Oh, you see, this is it.
Yeah. So exactly. So at this point, we'll take a short break. After the break, then we'll talk about the World Pharmacist Day, you know, which is you know, commemorated every year. And of course, there are a lot of things to talk about. So we'll be right back.
As the fastest growing GSM company in the Gambia, QCell has the widest 4G plus coverage in the country, 3 times faster internet speed than our competitors. So switch now and dial *335# and enjoy what true 4G feels like. QCell, Gambia's trusted network. QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Get a QCell SIM card for free. Yes, absolutely free. Walk into any of our customer care centers and get a SIM free of charge. With a QCell SIM card, you can get the fastest and the most reliable internet plus wide range of amazing services. So rush now to any of our care centers and get a free SIM now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell Sunubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you been looking for the perfect indoor router with long-range Wi-Fi coverage and faster internet speed connecting all your smart devices? Well, we present to you the QCell Indoor Router, a router that has all you need and much more. For just $4,275, you can get 4G plus internet speed.
Yes, we are back. You are watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Asuri Balde. Now, we move on to the third segment of this program. That's the World Pharmacist Day, 25th September. And it's a day to this event. And Julde, we have our doctor here, Dr. Usainu Mahanera. Yes, in the studio with us.
So we can pronounce it anyhow, no problem.
Nyom kay sen turi sarahule mom, they never cease to amaze us. Nga bay ba, nga bay Jallo, nga bay Baji, nga dem jël Mahanera. For what? Suma santa bi Balde, I can give it to you for free of charge. How are you, doctor?
Alhamdulillah.
Here, te suma simit degor. Muhammad Siso suma degor te muray ma sarahule friend. All right, so it's good to have you on the program. To talk about this important day. Please, can you take us through what the Pharmacy Council does? What do you represent?
Okay, thank you very much, Balde, Ibrahim Asori Balde.
Yes.
And my sister who said I should be a Fulani, but I will accept it for today.
Okay.
And thank you for hosting me. You know, I'm here to represent the Pharmaceutical Society of the Gambia.
Okay.
Pharmaceutical Society of the Gambia comprised of professional pharmacists in this country. So that's who I'm representing here today to talk about the World Pharmacist Day. You know, the World Pharmacist Day is a day that pharmacists worldwide celebrate. So this year, the Gambia, we are intending to celebrate it in a way that we give back to the community. That's what we are here today to inform the general public that on the 25th, which is World Pharmacist Day, we will be at Westfield at the Youth Monument to give back to the community in a form of screening for hypertension, diabetics, and we also will be doing some medication review to patients who are already non-diabetes and non-hypertensive patients. So that's basically what we are going to do on that particular day. We will also have some items that we'll be donating to place like Tanka on that very day. So it will be a very important event that day.
Okay.
This is a day which is initiated by the International Federation of Pharmacists, and that was established in 1912 and on the 25th September. So that's why every year and we celebrate it, but in a different way. So this year, that's the way we take the World Pharmacist Day. That's the role of pharmacists in the global health. So that's the theme this year. So we are going to give back to the community in a form of screening and some items to the Tanka units of the Gambia.
Psychiatry hospital.
Yeah.
So what time is this event starting? And when you say Westfield at what location exactly in Westfield?
Yeah, it's going to start tomorrow by 10:30 to 11 o'clock.
Okay.
And it will be at the Youth Monument.
So in terms of the people that you're targeting, what is the age group of these people, or anyone can just come with any health issues, or you're just focusing specifically on people who have hypertension and diabetes?
Yeah, you know, this is a screening, and we are not focusing on a particular age group.
Okay.
Because this non-communicable disease can affect any age.
Yeah.
So we are not focusing on any particular age, but anybody can come and we can screen you. And people who are also non-diabetes and non-hypertensive can also come. We do a medication review for them. Check their drugs to see what we can advise the patients, what to eat and how to go on the medication, and whether there is a drug-drug interaction or there is a drug-food interaction, so we can advise them. So anybody can come, we screen, and we give a counseling. The most important aspect of the event is the counseling that we are going to do to the people who are attending. So we are going to counsel them. Whatever we find on you, we give you a very good advice, then we carry on from there.
So you mentioned earlier that the theme for this year is pharmacists meeting global health needs.
Exactly.
How are we at the home front meeting global health needs? Because the last time I checked, the Gambia has less than 40 pharmacists, which is far below the recommended guidelines for WHO.
Absolutely, that is true. In the Gambia here, we have about 36 registered pharmacists in this country, which is way below the required pharmacists we even need at one hospital, one teaching hospital. But gradually, if you look into it, 3 years, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, there were about 20 registered pharmacists. And if you look into all even these registered pharmacists, some of them are not even in the country. So you will see to read that if you look into it, we have less than 30 registered pharmacists who are currently working in the country. So, and you need to, those are the same pharmacists who are in the community, the same pharmacists who are in the hospital, and the same pharmacists who are in the regulation. So if you know the actual burden on the pharmacists, you will definitely commend the Gambian pharmacists what they are doing.
But this is serious. Less than
but
30.
Programs like this will help us, young people, we encourage them to study the field. They should know that pharmacy profession is not just another profession like that. It's a very important profession in the healthcare delivery. So there are healthcare professionals who are primarily, who are experts in medicines and the use of medicines. So, and if you lack that experts in your society, there will be a tendency of problem. That's why if you see there are a lot of problems we are facing in the pharmaceutical sector, simply because the numbers are not there. So, and once the numbers are not there, if one, like our population of 2.5 million today, we have only 36 registered pharmacists, and some of them are not in the country. How do you think we can meet the demand of the population?
Of 2.4
2.4. It will be very difficult. No matter how hardworking you are, you may not take care of the problem.
Exactly.
So where does the problem lies? I mean, you mentioned the fact that young people should take up the field to study to become pharmacists. But is it the young people who are not having interest in the field of pharmacies, or we don't have the facilities or what it takes to teach our own people within?
Yeah, it's not that young people are not interested in the field of pharmacies, but they are interested. But like in the Gambia, we don't have a pharmacy school which belongs to the government. So if you want to start, most of the pharmacists who are in the Gambia here, let's say 90% of them studied outside the Gambia. It's only 2 of us who studied in the Gambia, and it is at American International University, and which can be way expensive for many people in the Gambia. So if we don't have a pharmacy school in the Gambia here, it will be very difficult for we to produce as much pharmacists as the country required. So it will be difficult. So thank God now we've developed a curriculum where we are going to have a pharmacy school in the country. Inshallah, next year we'll have a pharmacy school in the country. They will be pursuing PharmD, which is 6 years program. And if the schools start producing, we will have a lot of pharmacists in this country.
So the curriculum development has been finalized?
Yes, has been finalized.
I know it was launched. Okay.
Yes, it has been finalized.
Okay.
Exactly.
So come 2025, we will have
that's what
homegrown
they said.
pharmacists. Okay.
Yes.
Let's go back to the commemoration of this day. What are you doing to at least decentralize, I mean, this kind of event? Maybe we can have it in the up-country as well, because there are people who will need it.
They don't have the facilities like here.
Yeah.
Yes, that's this is something that we will put in our plan. But as for this year, Gambia, we've not been celebrating it because if you look at the numbers, we are less than 40. So as we are having the number, at times we may even divide ourselves. Some will celebrate it in URR. Some, myself, will take them to Gambisara.
My people.
Yes. So that, but it is unfortunate we don't have the number. So this year we decide to do it at the KM here at the Youth Monuments. So there we are doing it this year, inshallah. But it is in our plan. Every year we can do it in another place. That's not a problem.
So as a pharmacist, what are the health-related issues mostly reported in our hospitals or health facilities?
You know, pharmacies, and if you look into the pharmacy cadre or the pharmacy, you know, we are the first point where the pharmacy, the patient meets, especially in the community pharmacy. So, and when they come with some illness, and you review the patients, you counsel the patients. There are certain that you can take care of there, then you can give a solution to that one. So anything that you find that you cannot take care at the pharmacy level, then you refer the patients to a medical doctor who will review the patients and prescribe, or either prescribe for the patient or do some procedures. Then we'll send the patient back to you for medication. So this is what we do basically.
So in terms of the challenges confronting the pharmacy industry, what are these challenges aside from the low number of pharmacists that you have, of course?
You know, once you don't have the number that you required, there will be always a challenges. And Gambia also, we are not the pharmaceutical sector. We are not producing anything in this country. So anything that we need in this country, we bring it. So there can be challenges at times in the hospital of lack of some medication that we urgently need, we don't have, or even in the private, in the community pharmacy. So those are challenges that we sometimes faces. But as time goes on, you know, it's a process. It will be solved.
So in terms of the regulatory framework now, let's go back to that, because a lot of people frowning at the Pharmaceutical Council in terms of the regulatory frameworks. How are you regulating this industry? Has it been well regulated?
Yeah, you know, as I always say that the, you know, the pharmaceutical industry is the most regulated industry worldwide.
Is that so?
Yes.
We have AKI here, they're not long ago.
No, let me just come. You know, the pharmaceutical industry is the most regulated industry worldwide, and Gambia cannot be an exception to that. Okay. But no matter whatever you see in this world, once it is human being who is responsible for it, there must be some lapses. So this AKI you've had in the Gambia it's not only Gambia. It's happened in places like America. History will tell you. So, but when it happens, how we control it, how we go about it, let us allow the experts to talk about it. The solution is the experts who should be given the solution. It's not everybody, when there's a problem in the Gambia, everybody will just jump and say, okay, let me just give a solution to it. If you are not an expert in an area, if you try to give a solution to that, you are giving more problem than a solution. So allow the experts to dwell on it so that they can have a proper solution to this. That's the major problem we faced during the AKI, because everybody was jumping. This is not something that has not, it must happen. These are things that happens along the way. So as we are going, we tackle them gradually. So once we are tackling them, we find out that a lot of people were involved who are not expert in the area. So once you are not an expert in the area, you may do something that you may say something that you are not supposed to say. It will even make people to be scared of taking conventional medicines. And when people are scared of taking conventional medicine, what are you doing? There will be more problem. If they don't take their drugs, absolutely, you said you are preventing them, but instead you are killing them.
Yeah, because we've seen few cases whereas you go and you're ill, you are required to have one medicine and you're given another which is not in line, and then sometimes it becomes really hard.
Yeah, you know, as I tell you, we don't have the numbers of pharmacists in this country. So now, whenever a pharmacist should always review the drugs that are prescribed by the doctor.
And the few that are here are all in the greater Banjul area, I want to believe.
Yes.
Because the Sarahules will not want to go. You will not want to go back to Gambia.
No, I open a pharmacy there, which I'll.
Yeah. All right, so we are out of time. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Mahanera, for coming on the program. We appreciate, and we wish you a very successful commemoration.
If you can allow me 1 minute to
quickly.
Local language, so that many people will understand what we are saying, because most of the people we are expecting there will be the local people. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. Mbadingol mbalbe kontonna melbe QTV jube kambe nyu wato menkono ole munyinti ko September 25th ole mu World Pharmacist Day so Gambia la pharmacist sol be dentale melia lon ko telle pharmacy doku karang ka bengo ke Westfield Youth Monuments ka mol jube je melia lon ko ngai la ka fo maybe high blood better le jale mem tension ti o diabetes se screen ke jube and melia lon ko fanan ye diabetes soto le already o ye high blood soto zila borol fanan jube ku ka jube foi ba ta kan nyamale ba foi be borol men ta kan man tranin do fanan tala men yalon ko si jaralo men expect je atena o kela so mo kulati men yalon ko betar la Westfield on the 25th kabirin 11 o'clock for 3 o'clock be mol jube la je adum be la fenkol fanan jube la borol fanan jube la luma don wax ci sosé modine on the 25th September the World Pharmacist Day pharmacist Gambia yeb nan dajalo ci Westfield ti Youth Monument ci di screen patients nga xamantene yaakar nañ ne am nañ diabetes wala hypertension ak ñi nga xamantene am nañ ko be pare way nañ xol sen garab yi ndax am nañ ñu ko jël ci naka lañ ko wara jëlé wala nekkundi ko jëlé nonu mbaate ñu ko jëlé ñu ngi jël garab boo xamante ne ñu ngi ko méngoo ak beneen garab boo xamante ne waruñ koo jël nañ review loolu yëpp so mboolem ku am time mun ngaa ñëw Westfield on the 25 ëllëg incha allah on the 25th September nañ fa nekka man suma boppa ak suma naataangooy pharmacist yëpp nañ fa nekka incha allah
thank you very much Mr. Mahanera viewers will take a short break after the break then we'll take the last segment of this program we'll be back.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Do your banking the smart way with the new Ajib Bank mobile app. Transfer money to any bank account in the Gambia. Top up airtime for all networks. Pay utility bills. Check your account balance and view mini statements. Request for ATM cards. Request for checkbooks and more in a single touch. So, do your banking in a smart way. Do your banking now with Ajib Bank mobile app. Every time is banking time. Ajib Bank, your investment partner.
The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fixed Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled device. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyapus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Looking for the perfect place to promote your product or place your advert? Look no further than QTV. We are the premier destination for businesses looking to connect with Gambian audiences and beyond. At QTV, we offer a variety of advertising solutions to suit your needs and budget. With our diverse range of programming, you can be sure that your ad will reach a broad and engaged audience. From our popular news broadcast to our exciting music and entertainment programming, QTV has something for everyone. QTV, the premier destination for advertising in the Gambia. Contact us today and let us help you reach your audience.
welcome back. You are watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Asuri Balde. Now let's move to the last segment of this program. We have Buba Saidikan, QCell Marketing Department, and of course Mamadou Bari from the sales department of the QCell. Gentlemen, welcome to this program. It's good to have you here. Yes, Buba, why you representing the Orange?
Because marketing.
Orange Nation.
Marketing.
Yeah. So, Barry, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Nice to be here again.
Yes.
For the second time.
For the second time this week.
Thank you.
Yes. So we'll talk about the new QCell phone promotion. I mean, we've seen the QCell introduces 3 different phones. A simple phone, and the phone costing $3,400, and the other one costing $4,000. Let's start with Buba.
Yes.
Can you take us through, what can you tell us about these products?
Okay, so I'm going to do this in Mandinka for
our Mandinka,
yes. So, Balde, QCell mobile sabambola African signing. We have the Q Smart Plus, walem keba manyenti. We have the Q Smart, walem keba mado mati, and we have the simple phone, tell a personal favorite. So, Q Smart ning atelem the higher end of the phone sol member la renteng. Atele bigger battery soto, atele higher screen resolution soto, higher megapixel count, walem film manyenti. Yes, so ataba cost kang wili nani dama niya sang wili nani QCell buka mobile dama dila nka bundle package wala dila miala is free of charge wala megabyte wili tan sabati ninko wala 30 gigabytes
30
yes aning kumandiro wato kemeni mwa wala 120 minutes of free call aning SMS keme saba free SMS 300 free SMS nyimbi nka dila kari saba wato lokono. So wabe puru wili nane dama. So funo nying double sim olem minta sim 1 nying wala isa QCell lano dundije sim 2 nying sim card diate isa dundije anim fanang ngami forek aduma wala buluru nyenti wala Q Smart nyenti ata fanang mu wili saba kemena nelati fanang battery nying a warata it's 3000 mAh. Screen nying is 5.9 inch display. Dual SIM olem SD card slot total meaning is storage or expand to any capacity you want. What is data layer so atafana anim bundle package o kanana ne mi alon ko QCell ka 15 GB la dila wala willy killing kemelu megabyte controller minutes or wala 120 minutes that is kemeni mo kumandiro free call to any QCell line and keme saba SMS control afana kari saba wato kono lan ka dila
ka use for kari saba
yes so last but not the least simple phone my personal favorite atamu keme woro da malti keme woro da ma ani ni phone injibe bala no ko ata quality total ani nying phone dol fatatale because built in touch light o balale ay audio player sotole mi yalan ko sa SD card do no afananto FM radio balale anin fanan ay camera ndingo soto ko mala modole camera ji amira fake lem because afunja ma nin camera ba ko ma camera fake barata la camera nyin ka wokle anu isa mo sute no je ni na balde na ta sante nin balle ajiba balo nako nyi mum fonlati so atamu keme woro da mala fanan na la bundle package ol kanala miala is free of charge is 300 SMS and in 300 minutes wala kumandro wato minute keme saba ani SMS konto keme saba atamu keme woro da maldi so sante nyin funo la ba Afrika customer care tata je iba nyim funol sotolale ibe ba wafikan na price ol min fale jang be wafikan walton the same price 4000 film mining 3400 blue roning and in domande mining is $600
exactly
4G phone lem for
smartphone be mo 4G phone yes they
are
all 4G capable
interesting kon ñu dalal bari naka nga def
jërëjëf Balde dina bëgg a wax ci pol tuuti monsieur am fulbe meden salmindong kadi QCell adani yong téléphone aji anduɗa ɗi moƴƴi ha téléphone ji tati anduɗa ɗiɗi ɗin ko smartphone goton ko simple phone mene yeeɗa smartphone on balejo on guluji 4 buluji on mene yeydemo guluji 3 temeɗɗe 4 simple phone on ko temeɗɗe 6 menen noon mi jontama téléphone to mi jonnanima sim card minen andi téléphone e sim card woni yaadude ɓale jong ne heɓi 10 GB lewru o lewru lebbi tati ne heɓi temedere e nogay on net calls hagen no jogui temed tati SMS kadi e nder lebbi tati bulu jong no jogui ɗumanin 15 GB gigabytes joyi lewru o lewru e nder lebbi tati temedere e nogay SMS naga on net calls kankadi hagan mo jogui 300 SMS kankadi e nder lebbi tati di téléphone ji noon no moƴƴi ha batterie on no moƴƴi neɓay waɗete balɗe tati ha balɗe nayyi sa sawdidi gila ndu lewru balɗe 14 min fuɗɗi yeyde di téléphone ji e nder Gambia fof sa yeehi ka branche o branche men Qcell branche a tawat ɗi téléphone ton hagan min heeɓi road show team mo annduɗa yaɗa caaye ɗin fof nder grita Banjul on taw eyyi ɓe jinda ɓe yeyda téléphone ji ɗin hakkude Banjul ha Katon hande ni ka subaka ɗo ɓe yalti ɓe yaade hakkude Abuko Lamen e Busumbala e Farato team goɗɗo team on no yaade Tujareng mo yaade Gunjur mo yaade Katon ko ɗon min ñallata ha wattuji 5 kikiɗe ɓe arta yeygol ɗi téléphone ji simple fuu noon ɗi smartphone ji ɗiɗi fof no moƴƴi hagan mi sikki yimɓeɓe no soodide gila min fuɗɗi ha joni eyyi ko ɗum addi men ɗo hande
o waktu ɗo koye promotion gonɗon o yana jari guluje 4 o yana jali guluje 3 temeɗɗe 5 joni after promotion o ɓeydotona kadin free internet service jaaduɗo he mobile ji ɗi ɗum continat walla continta
fendo ni price ɗin ko price goto promotion ko price goto temeɗɗe 6 guluji 3 temeɗɗe 4 e guluji 4 o price sansata o price sansata promotion ɗum ko fixed price kano ɗo ni promotion on kadi waɗa sim card on tawi wonɓene heeɓi sim mobile ji ɗin ɗo lebbi 3 men waɗa sifa o promotion on continay taw mi anda honde daroto way continay taw price ɗin kan ko price goto eyyi faalaɓe wholesale ɓe men kadi ɓe ari ɓe noddi men min walla ɓe wholesale price
hara ɓe yeyiray
kamɓe kadi ɓe heɓa seeɗa eyyi kamɓe kadi ɓe heɓa seeɗa wawi ɗi price ji dal ko ɗum woni yeyde pour fof hay goto wata sansu ɗi price ji hay sa soodi wholesale on e jungo men ko ɗi price poɗɗa yeyde temeɗɗe 6 guluji 3 temeɗɗe 4 e guluji 4
andi pour laaɓal seeɗa rek oya ɗiye mobile ji goɗɗi ɗi fof ko double sim joni double sim moɓɓe ɓe na lamɗo nda haɗa wawi hen usde
sim goɗɗo goo sa wi e double sim ko sim 1 e sim 2 sim 1 on ko fixe ko Qcell sim 2 on ko optional
haɗa wawi
usde Qcell line mo falɗa waɗa hen wawi sim 1 on ko forcé ko Qcell
andi bi ko sa mi landima heɓaɓe no sikkude e ɓay ko mobile Qcell tun ƴettata
gonga sim 1 on ko Qcell tun ƴettata sim 2 on noon
ami sikki ɗon no moƴƴi fiɗon laɓɓinen toon moƴƴa ɓay min kadi mi heeɓi question ji yaruɗi noon ɓe winan ɓay ko mobile Qcell kere ko Qcell tun ƴettata minni ɓe o oye kono noon sim 1 on ɗum ɗon ko Qcell ɓay ko Qcell jeyi téléphone on a faami kono sim 2 on siɗa yiɗi ɗaɓɓu kala network
heɓuɗa
eyyi Bouba lafta pour mole o Sénégal
yes so alamin fo is very important wala em katum ko Qcell mobile ole molia azum ko Qcell sim card ol damal batamala kono bare na fo ñamen comment rek wala ko ñi mobile sabol be mu double sim on ladi sim 1 and sim 2 so sim 1 is fixed Qcell wala Qcell line o wala ñanta dun la sim 1 kono but sim 2 ñing way is optional ko bari ya fa ñame wala sim card yate yake je barinte ma sim Qcell sim fula la dundi la je baro Qcell ka sim card o dilale ni ñin sang wala min promotion kana ani fanan na existing Qcell line is a sim fulol be dun no so man jere la existing Qcell line o landi pour yeñi mobile ol soto isi la existing one o use no is a new one of an use na kono but alia for ñame rek is not fixed Qcell lines that can only work in it is optional for sim 2 but sim 1 is fixed Qcell so this goes for across the board all the mobile phones Q Smart Plus Q Smart and Simple Phone ibe mu double sim on leti ibe sa any line use no apart from Qcell on the sim 2 but sim 1 is fixed.
It's fixed for Qcell. So Bouba.
Sa ni momo e Qcell line no soto sign teng. Yenyi mobile o sang amanjari do dila ibo Qcell line no da malekala je fo fengu sartolen pour inyanta new Qcell line no sotol.
yala ni mobile on yinsang ka sim card o min dila wala ni promotion on yin kanana nyola. So example ni na Q Smart Plus yinsang ba sim card o dila na mela o 30 gigabyte bolo kono 120 minutes call bolo kono ning SMS on yin. So misal fe na kedan taman la fi wala o na mobile o samole. It's a perfect gift ni ba mo soka mobile wala because iba soka na with data, iba soka na with call, iba soka na with SMS. So misal fe iba ma beje la muso ikema lafta ka mobile o dia iba mobile o nyin dila la plus data ate nyin kal e mobile o dina bari man credit songo dina woni o question o dina no na na QCell la mobile o because data nyin as I use no internet auto call asulate la wato wada asulata momo la wato wada ase kumal no from that minutes SMS fanang as a message o kino anyone so abita la kari sabato moto amari te nyin kala credit
but at some point fan nata ite different sim card o be bulu me yalon ko ite meta wala use kla isela was SIM card or use your data minke mimbala to power to give data to your you know so you can still maintain that SIM card, you know, while you are using your other SIM card as well. So Buba, how guarantee? I mean, let's talk about, I mean, we don't want to buy phones today and tomorrow we take it to black market for repairs. I mean, can you please tell us how guarantee, how you can convince me how this phone is?
Okay, so if it comes to the guarantee of the phone, by the look of it, near GB signed phone quality sort of. So how do we know its quality? By holding it. Ning be meta mobile user, all of us have been using phones. So phone ni tata sange mobile muta yake tang aba fairing. If kana no konyi mobile ala internal soul are not good. But near phone muta it has a bit of weight to it. You know that okay, battery on capacity is big. Nim full better they have.
Yeah, because the reason why I said it, I don't know if my producer can give me that permission to play this.
Dama buga nga aso mane telephone bi dafa ba because man ko buga ñoo jënda so tani tell me na telephone bi dafa
I replied
our phone bi baax na trop phone si baax nañ batterie bi yagana ba pare double sim la
understand
waaw bo si jënda mom di nga kontaan.
Okay, so people ask these questions, you understand, and we also defend these questions as well. So here is the marketing and the sales team. I think it's important for people to know how guaranteed the phones are.
Telephone on no moji, telephone on what guarantee, telephone on nearby, battery on nearby. Why and the telephone ko jogi da telephone ko jogi da telephone no jogi ta telephone
not important.
No important. Telephone hay suko phone got go no jogi ta telephone no what important. Sa jeti telephone alibi mo bonai
ke
ajo ni ma pay ko o libi mo bonai anadi ni mo ndiyang bonai a wala ni mo charge ha o hewa marsata no wala masido telephone info joge because mobile and no what is sophisticated gadget one no what is sophisticated hunde no jogirta dum no hebi nafa no
hebi cover
no arde silicone cover no arde silicone no white silicone cover ardi white telephone jiding dum ko electronic ni sa sodi within 1 week a foti andude telephone on ko hon ngoni ma jonnude ka si tay speaker moƴƴani artirmo network o moƴƴani artirmo battery on joni ma problème o no wula artirmo ko ya within 1 week awa anda ɗum ɗo fof way comme wiyata on a yiyata ɗum ɗo inchallah sa sodi o téléphone
awa gasi buba so finally baria folede ako telephone guarantee tal aberiatal
no it's very true because funo nying nanata battery wise screen wise adum fana box ko no it okay nata what it comes in the box near funo nyin sang near package o nyi yela QCell ka cover dilale which is the silicone case so way safe like you going out finding a case for it because jamo jama near funo sam follow rek mi fo ta case o yele janaba jolo na take e ko sotale ba para aning screen protector
mane mu ngi am screen protector
exactly aning screen protector kana so it's like you start using it right from the box ni ayela rek you can start using it
am na ñu ma ñaanon téléphone de te man don hala jënda 15000 téléphone wa legi mom bi rek la
4000 bi or 3400 yeah so comes with a screen protector and it comes with a case so nyimbe save like a trip to Westfield to go and look for screen protector or to go look for a case and in headphone of another corner. So it's a full package near mobile from any of our customers.
Mashallah. I will just appeal, guys. I mean, maybe tomorrow you can please help us, you know, organize this on our table.
Yeah.
I mean, we want to sell it for you people.
No problem.
Yeah. So viewers, this is all we have. Julde, thank you. Bari, thank you for coming. Buba, thank you. Haja Julde ko dundo he budeng hande.
Ha jango inshallah.
Enjoy the rest of our programs. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.